Hey everybody, Brock Frady here, helping you enjoy your ride. In today's video, we're going to take a close look at a 2017 Subaru Outback Touring. It has all kinds of buttons and safety features and really cool comfort features as well. We're going to go over all those things. We're going to go over the inside, the outside, all the specs, and there's a gigantic dog barking right behind me. It wasn't doing that until I pressed record. I'm going to show you how to use all the things inside the vehicle, and I think you'll like the 2017 Subaru Outback Touring. I would also like to thank Danya and Rob for letting me use their brand new Subaru Outback. In fact, they've let me drive it for almost a week now, and I'm pretty much in love with this thing. If you like this video, give it a big fat thumbs up. You can check out all my videos, howtocarguy.com. All right, everybody, let's take a look at a 2017 Subaru Outback Touring. The exterior color is called Crystal Black Silica. It's like a pearl black almost. I don't know if you can tell, but you see that? This thing has fantastic ground clearance. It's like an SUV and a big wagon combined. It does not have a big trucky feel though. It has a 2.5 liter horizontally opposed 4-cylinder engine. Let's just say 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine. This is one of the coolest things I've ever seen on a car. There's a little LED light right there, and don't let the size of it fool you. You see that? And it's got the Subaru icon, and it's actually lit up right now. It looks like it's blinking because of the refresh rate from the camera, but it's on solid right now. And well, it just went off. What this does is when you approach the car at night, or when you unlock the doors with the remote, this shines directly onto the door handle, but not just there. It shines all the way back, and I approached it last night, and it looked like that this whole area under the car or down at the bottom beside the car was lit up, and that's from that one little bitty light right there in that mirror. And there's one on the driver's side mirror as well. It has a continuous variable transmission, and that does take a little bit of getting used to. Whenever you're accelerating, it is absolutely buttery smooth. You don't feel it transitioning between gears. And whenever you mash on the gas, there is no gear transition in any way whatsoever. You don't like feel it drop down into a gear to try to find a passing gear. It does have a 6-speed manual mode. Like when you're driving, it does have paddle shifters behind the steering wheel, so you can tip those little paddle shifters on the steering wheel, and it kind of like feels like you're changing gears a little bit, but there's no substitute for really actually changing gears. It has high intensity discharge headlights, HID headlights. Those headlights are absolutely fantastic. One of the features that this one in particular has is intelligent high beams. So what you can do is just leave your high beams on all the time, and when other cars are around you and it senses that there's other cars in your proximity, it will intelligently lower the high beams so you don't blind people. You do also have the Subaru EyeSight technology. You can see those two, it looks like eyes on either side of the rear view mirror there, and I've been using that this week, and I'll get into that. That is a wonderful feature. Look at those big fog lights down there. That's kind of something that Subaru is characterized by. Big round fog lights. This does sit up higher than a traditional vehicle, you know, a traditional wagon. And so those fog lights are extremely useful. Another thing that I've noticed is that it has cornering lamps. I was actually driving it last night, and I was getting off an exit ramp, and when I turned it to the right to get off on the exit ramp, the whole right side, or the right corner of my field of view lit up. So then I turned it a little bit left, and the left field of view lit up. So those cornering lamps are super helpful for when you're driving. Taking a look at the back, you can see you've got the tailgate, of course. One of the things that I want to point out though are these 4 sensors that are embedded into the back bumper. And you can see there 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way across, and that is your park assist and rear cross traffic alert. Let's say that you're parked here, there's a car here and a car here, and you've got a lane of traffic that's going behind you and you're trying to pull out. If there's a car that is coming from the left or the right and the vehicle senses it, then it's automatically going to apply the brakes, and there will be a warning sign that is as well as an audible tone that the vehicle sounds, and you'll see something, a readout on the multi-information display by your speedometer, and it will indicate that there's somebody behind you, and it will actually apply the brakes. So it will warn you and apply the brakes for you, and that's part of what this system does. Those 4 sensors. This one is also equipped with the optional tow hitch. That's a great idea. It does have a 2,700 pound tow capacity. Your rear backup camera. And then there is a little rubber button that's right here directly under the Subaru emblem, and that's how you get into the back of it with the key fob on your person. And then there's a button here, and that's how you actually lock all the doors if you were accessing the back and not necessarily the front and you wanted to lock all the doors. It does have symmetrical all-wheel drive, and that's something that Subaru is very well known for. Another label that you're going to see here on the back is PZEV, partial zero emission vehicle. You have your back wiper there on the glass, your shark fin antenna. This one also has the sunroof. And one of the things that, I don't know if you knew this or not, but if you were unaware, a lot of Japanese vehicles have their fill tank on the left side. This has the fill tank on the right side. So if you are coming from a Japanese vehicle that is non-Subaru, then you're gonna have to get used to filling it up on the right side. Let's take a look at the wheels and tires. This one does have the optional 18-inch wheels sitting on aluminum alloy wheels. It has Bridgestone Dueler HP Sport AS tires. That tire size is 225/60 R18, and it says here on the tire M and S. And M and S stands for mud and snow, all-weather tire. You also have ventilated disc brakes up front and out back, no pun intended. There's actually a channel, and you can see that channel right there. And that channel will allow air to pass through that disc in order to keep the brakes cool to prevent brake fade. Let's take a look at how the key fob works. The top button is the lock button. The blue Subaru icon is the unlock button. The very bottom, that's going to open the rear tailgate for you. And the very bottom button with the red icon in the middle, that's the panic alarm. You do have a solid key that's integrated into the bottom of the key fob, and you're going to remove that by pressing this silver button on the very back, and then the key comes out. This will not be used to start the car. This is going to be used in a couple of different situations. In the event that the battery in the key fob dies, you'll need to use this to unlock the driver's door, get in the vehicle, put your foot on the brake, and then you'll put the key fob up by the start button, and the vehicle will start. There's enough juice in it to start it. However, you will need to have the battery replaced inside of this if that does happen. Let's say you go up to the car and it does not automatically unlock, then you'll need to follow that procedure. The second situation is if you were using it in a valet. So if you went to a hotel and you wanted to lock personal items in the glove box, you would put your items in the glove box, lock it with this, remove the key out of the key fob, and give this to the valet driver. That way your personal items are secure inside the glove box. Now we're going to start it, and the remote start is actually an optional feature, and it is a second fob that is attached to the key ring. You can see there's 2 separate fobs here, and the way this works is you're going to hit this twice quickly. It beeps again, and then it starts. And then there was an indicator inside of this. It's kind of like backlit. So whenever I press this twice, this beeped, then it beeped again when the vehicle started. And so that's actually pretty convenient, because if you're starting it and you can't actually see the vehicle, the second time it beeps, it goes beep beep, and it lets you know that it's actually started. And then you can hit it again once to cut it off. Nope. Okay, I guess When I opened it, it cut off, and then that beeped to let me know that the vehicle was cutting off. And the reason for that is in the event that a child were to grab your keys and run out to the car, Subaru does not want a running car to be in the hands of a child and, you know, just open the door and be able to drive away. So that's the reason, one of the main reasons why the vehicle shuts off upon the door opening. You can open the back hatch by pressing the bottom button and holding it in. And you can also close it with a button at the bottom of the tailgate. That button closes it. You can close it manually, or you can just repeat what you did to open it. Press and hold. Or if you wanted to open it in a more traditional way, as long as the key fob is on your person, approach the vehicle and there's a rubber pad directly located underneath the Subaru icon. You just press and release. The storage space in here is nice and roomy, and those back seats do fold flat. You can see here that you have a removable tonneau cover, and you see how it's going to latch into the little section here, and that's going to conceal everything in the back. And then you can remove it by taking the very outer portion, pulling it in, and then pulling the whole tonneau cover out. You can see this one has the optional all-weather mat in the back. And this one also has the Harman Kardon upgraded stereo system. That's a 12 speaker, 576 watt system. That thing will absolutely thump. There is a handle here, and this handle, once you pull it, will allow you to fold the seat. I like how that seat folds. It is completely flat. You see that? That is so nice. Also, another really cool thing, and this is actually an option, there is a like a mat here that extends this all-weather mat, and it has these little I guess ties that kind of go into the seat right there. You see that? And that is so neat because it extends that all-weather mat onto the back side of the back seat. Great idea. You can see that you have these little points here where you can click down, push and click, and that comes down. You can hold your bags, grocery bags. You also have a 12-volt power point there, cigarette lighter adapter, and then you have tie downs here. There's one here, and then there are two. There's another one there, and also another one there. So you can tie down larger items. The hood latch is going to be just to the right of the Subaru emblem. My finger's on it right now. You press that and it comes right up. I love how it's mounted on shocks. There's no little arm that you have to put to rest the hood on. And you can see that's where that is, right there. The engine is a 4-cylinder, 2.5 liter boxer engine with 175 horsepower and an 18.5 gallon fuel tank capacity. The fuel economy is 25 city, 32 highway, and it uses regular gas. You can see the oil filter is right there on top, and that is so cool, and that's because of the nature of the boxer engine. It makes it so easy to get. There's your coolant there. By the way, never open that when the car is hot. There's your engine oil sitting right beside your engine oil filter. Your battery is mounted nice and easy right up here at the front. Brake fluid is right here in the back. Engine oil check. There's your dipstick. Let's hop in and start it up. As long as the key fob is on your person, you put your foot on the brake, the light turns green in the start button, and you press it once. are two little dimples right there on top of the door handle. You see that? That is used to lock the door, and that's only to lock the door. So you grab it, it unlocks, and you hop in. Now remember, this is only used, these little dimples are only used to lock the door. And that's it. I love the inside of these doors. It is like a luxury car. And that's not something that I'm used to associating with Subaru. You can see the wood grain interior, the contrast stitching there. That color of this interior is fantastic also. It's a very European look as well. You can see you have your memory seat system, and that's going to memorize your seat and your mirrors for two people. Your power door controls. The one thing that I would add, or I would like to see, is automatic window controls up and down for all four windows. It's only for the front windows as it is right now. Power mirror controls, lock and unlock, and then of course your lock out the power controls for all windows there. And like I said, it does have the 12 speaker 576 watt Harman Kardon stereo system. And this seat, as I can say, could be the most comfortable car seat I've ever sat in. Super comfy. Now, the thing that I really love about it is that middle portion there, from about this line down to the bottom. That gives you so much support, and the padding is it sounds weird, but it's really soft, but it's very supportive. The bolsters, in my opinion, are a perfect size. Now, it's not a sports car, so the bolsters aren't going to be like really big and hugely supportive, but they just hold you in the right position. I just love how comfortable this seat is. Back seat is unbelievably roomy. I love these doors, the way that leather looks, and check out the detail in that wood grain. I don't think it's actually wood, but it looks really nice. And the way everything that comes together on that door, the satin finish of the door handle and that accent there underneath the wood, really neat. You have a water bottle holder inside the door, speaker there, and the back seats are almost as comfortable as the front seats. You can get 3 adults back there. That is legit, because that is not very common in a vehicle. Just to let you know, this front seat is like way back, pulled back pretty far, and I'm pretty tall. And you can recline the seat also. You can recline the seat back in the back seat as well. I love the heated back seats. The 2 outer portions, or the 2 outer seats in the back, are heated. And then of course you have your vents there. Super comfy. Let me know what you think about the color of this interior. Personally, I think it is the best looking interior for the exterior color. That pearl black, like mica type of color. And you also have a center armrest with 2 cup holders integrated into it. And then you see a handle here. That is going to recline the seat back if you want it to. Super comfy. It is a 10-way power seat on the driver's side with lumbar. Side airbags that are integrated into the sides of the seats. Down here you have these little gray buttons, and that is called the latch safety system. This indicates that underneath is a latch that is for a child safety seat. And you can actually feel it. My finger's on it, I can't get it with the camera, but there's a metal latch that's kind of integrated into the body of the vehicle, and that's where you're going to take the latch for the child safety seat and plug it in right there. There's another one here, and then there's 2 more there. That is your blind spot monitor. That is the indicator that lights up when someone is in your blind spot. On the left side of the steering wheel, you have multi-information displays. You also have your stereo, volume, scan, tuning to the source, voice controls, Bluetooth. There's a lot going on that left side of the steering wheel. Also on the right side of the steering wheel, you have your safety system information. So your cruise control, your radar cruise control, lane departure alert, all those things. Down there on the bottom right, you have the heated steering wheel. Very nice addition, I may add, and it heats almost the whole steering wheel. Then you have a multi-information display control right here on the bottom left. Top left, you can see that little paddle there. That's the paddle shifters. Downshift on the paddle shifter, upshift on the paddle shifter. And remember, it has a continuous variable transmission, so it doesn't actually change down or up to other gears. It just kind of simulates. There's your horn. I like that horn. The steering wheel feels good in your hands. It's nice and fat, and it also has these indentions here for your thumbs, and that makes it easier to hold when you're driving. The radar cruise control is located here on the right side of the steering wheel. And the switch where you see RES plus and set minus, that is resume and set for the speed on the cruise control. And so what you're going to do when you get to a speed that you want to cruise at is you're going to hit the button on the bottom right. It looks like a little speedometer with a car and an arrow. See that? And then this icon will pop up on your dash. What's in the middle, right there where it looks like a car, and you've got those 4 blocks that are in front of it. And what happens, I'm going to press that icon I was just telling you about on the steering wheel, bottom right. I just pushed it. And at that point, you can see the blocks. And so right now, if we were riding down the road, the cruise control would be set if we then took this and pressed down. And that would set it. And now let's say we're riding along and we're behind someone. Right there in front of those blocks, there's going to be another icon, and it's going to look like the back of a vehicle, the back of a car. And that means it can see when we're trailing somebody. It's basically kind of narrowed in on them, and we're trailing them. Those blocks represent the distance that it's going to maintain between your bumper and the rear bumper of the vehicle in front of you. You can change that here, and you can press down or up, and that changes the distance. When you press down, it shortens it all the way down to 1 block, and when you press it up, it lengthens it. So that's the maximum distance, that's the minimum distance. Then you have a button here, and that's the lane departure. So I can press that, and you'll see in the top right, you'll see the little icon. Now, where that lights up is you can see the lines that are along the sides of the icon right there and right there that look like lanes. And those are going to light up cameras that are up here. There's one here and there's one here. And that's what's going to see the lanes in the road. When they see the lanes in the road and you start to drift, it will determine that, and you will get an audible tone that allows you to know, hey, you're drifting. If you're getting this vehicle and it's brand new and all this is new to you, do not be scared of it, but just try it. And what I recommend doing is trying it in an area where there is traffic, but the traffic is not too heavy, and you can kind of wrap your head around how it works and what it does, and also what it does not do. It is a fantastic feature. This is on the bottom left of the steering wheel, and this is going to control different displays that are in the center of the dash. You do not push them with your thumb, but you pull them toward you, and that's how you use those, okay? And what I'm gonna be doing is toggling here up and down, and I'm gonna be pulling this information and set icon as well. And we're gonna toggle through the information that's at the top of this display. Fuel economy. These icons here are what these represent. In other words, on this, the bottom one, it's telling me I have about 150 miles left on the tank. And the top one is my fuel economy instant. And the top one is how long I have been driving. And the bottom one is the distance. Digital speedometer, compass. Pull and hold I set switch for menu. And this is that switch that's referencing, I/set. So I'm gonna pull that and hold it in. And there's my menu. And this is all settings. Screen settings, eyesight, blind spot detection, rear cross traffic alert, rear automatic braking, vehicle setting default, and go back. So you can see there are 7 screens, and using these arrows allows me to toggle between all the screens, right? So screen settings, welcome screen, goodbye, gauge initial movement, units, languages, go back. And so this is how you can configure all of those screens. You can either cut them on or off. And then I'm gonna go back, and then eyesight. This is pretty neat. Warning volume. I'm gonna press the I/set button again, and that's warning volume. And do I want it middle, minimum, max? So middle is where it was, let's keep it there. Lead vehicle acquisition is the sound the vehicle makes when it recognizes another vehicle in front of yours that it can track using the radar cruise control. And you can go into here to determine whether or not it makes a beep. Now the thing about this is that it will beep every single time that it locks onto another vehicle. And during my driving this, I have determined that to me, I would personally take that off because it's kind of annoying. And that's how you would cut it off right there. But I'm gonna leave it on because that's how the owner has it, so I don't want to mess with that. But it does beep every time that somebody is in front of you if you have that the radar cruise control on. Lead vehicle moving monitor function, and that's how you cut that on or off. And that indicates when a vehicle is actually in front of you and it moves in and out of the sight of the eyesight. So that's how you cut that on and off. Vehicle icon, and do you want that off or on? And that's the icon that I was showing you before, that's in the center display. And then go back. So that's everything to do with eyesight and the custom settings that you can set in eyesight. Blind spot detection and rear cross traffic alert. The warning volume, do you want it off or on? And that's all you can set for that. I recommend having that on all the time because that is a very valuable feature. And we'll go back. Rear auto braking, warning volume, sonar audible alarm. And so that is going to be the alarm that warns you whenever the rear auto braking happens. And so, I would recommend leaving that on, because if it's off and the rear auto braking actually works, it activates and the car slams on brakes going backwards, you want to know why. And it's more easily associated if you have an audible tone, and that's where you can adjust the volume. And I recommend at least having that on mid. All right, so we're going to go back, and so that's pretty much your settings right there. And those pretty much are all affiliated with safety, and these are the 3 buttons that I was using during that demonstration. Right now we're looking at the turn signal and headlight stalk, and you're going to roll the end of it to cut the headlights on and off, and also to put them in auto. I recommend leaving them in auto. That way they will automatically come on as the sun goes down. That's parking lights, and that is headlights on manually right there. Then this is fog lights. This is fog lights off. You see the little mark that lines up with that dot? That's fog lights on. That is, it was just clicked forward. See that? That's brights. That's brights off. And that's how you flash the brights. And then you can do your signals. And that's one interesting thing that I have noted about the Subaru, is that the turn signal indicator is pretty loud. Listen. And also notice that it didn't continue to click. Watch this. I'm going to push it up but not fully engage it. And it only blinked 3 times. That's really nice, because that's like a lane change indicator. So you can touch it up without fully engaging it to change lanes. It'll blink 3 times either way, left or right. But then you can fully engage it if you're turning, and it'll stick there and continuously blink. Nice feature. Now, you can also cut the brights on if the vehicle is equipped with the intelligent high beams, and you can leave that stalk there. Let's say the automatic headlights were active right now, they were on. You would see a little icon down here in the bottom, and it would say A and that A would be inside of a headlight looking icon. That means your automatic high beams are active and the vehicle can see other cars around it at night through the eyesight monitor, and it will automatically dim the high beams. And actually that's going to be through this icon or through this little eye right here. That's located directly on the back side of the rear view mirror. That's the intelligent high beam. That's the eyesight. So that's where that's going to be located. Okay. Neat feature, automatic high beams. Then your trip and reset button is here, and when you press that, you're going to see that readout under the park icon. You see where it says we're in park, and that's trip A, trip B, and then you press and hold to reset. Let's take a look at this whole center screen here. This is actually really nice. I love the fact that there are very few physical buttons. The top right there, that is a place for the micro SD card for the navigation system, and that's going to be something that you would need to get at the dealership. Power and volume button for the stereo, and then audio and tune button here. Home, map, apps, info, forward and back, or seek and track. So on the map screen, I got there by pressing this, the map icon. I can go menu, destination, change route, more. And so when you press settings, sounds and warnings, traffic, route settings, map settings, then you have a down arrow, units and formats, trip monitor, configuration, wizard and visual guidance, and speed warning settings. Warning when speeding, we want to enable that. And that's going to give you a visual cue when you're going over the speed limit, and that's pretty neat. Warning sign alerts. Are you going to want the car to warn you when you're coming up to curves and corners? And if so, what kind of warning type do you want? What kind of warning type do you want, and how far away do you want it to warn you? Lanes and passing, warning type, how far? General. So this is again one of those things that sounds really handy, but if you utilized all of these all the time, then your car is going to be warning you and beeping and all that stuff in all kinds of ways a whole lot. Again, I think these are actually really neat, but you have to ask yourself, is that something that I want to activate? And if so, am I ready to get warned all the time? And I mean, if so, it's great. But something just to consider. Traffic, and this is going to be showing you basically what events are going on in the traffic around you, event types. And you can see all of these are checked, and I think that's a great idea. And all this is it's going to show you little icons that are these street sign, you know, these orange street signs on the road ahead of you, behind you, all around you, when any of these event types are active. And map settings, different modes. I love this 3D mode. You can choose though 2D mode with north up, or 2D mode heading up. North up to me is complicated because it's the map turning and the car stays still and it's just the map turning like that, if that makes any sense. But 2D heading up, it actually shows the car moving on the map like that. That makes this either makes the most sense to me, or 3D. I prefer 3D. Just that's my thing. Map color, auto zoom off. There you go. Check that out. That's pretty neat. I like that. It gives you a real perspective of the horizon. Do you see how the difference is there? That's pretty cool. Automatic overview. And that's going to do an overview of your route automatically. Day map color. Default colors. Pretty cool. Place markers. And what do you want to display on the map? This is actually how you can clean up the map. What is it going to show on the map while you're just driving around? track logs, if you're driving around, it's going to show little dots everywhere that the vehicle has gone, has traveled. And so if you just want to keep track of where you drive, or if you let somebody borrow the car, you can keep track of where they drive around. Kind of leaves breadcrumbs around. That's pretty neat, actually. Place markers, you can make it show place markers on the map of these different things. So if you're riding around and you want to know where all the gas stations are along your route, check that. It'll show that little icon as a place marker on the map while you're riding around, so you can see what is around you. Data fields, this is under visual guidance. See that? Visual guidance, data fields. What do you want it to show when you are on a route? The distance, the time left, and the arrival time. And so what you're going to do is select from here all of the different things: waypoint, distance, time left, and arrival time, or destination. And it sorts that order. See that? So distance is there now. I can put time left. I can put arrival time, distance. And so this allows you to customize this layout, what it's like when you set a navigation point in your nav screen. I'm going from point A to point B. This is the way it's going to arrange these fields: the distance from A to B, how much time you have left, and when it estimates you're going to arrive. Highway services, signpost, I like that. That's pretty neat. Junction view, this is so cool. You're driving down the road and it's telling you that you need to get off at, say, exit 55, and it is actually going to show a 3D view of what exit 55 looks like, and like the street signs and everything, the name of it and all that stuff. That is so cool. Route progress bar, I like that. Most navigation systems, it's going to display the route progress bar like at the bottom, and it's just like like when your computer is updating and it shows you the progress in a bar format. This is the same thing, but it's your route. How far along your route are you? So you can kind of glance down and see how far along you are along that route. That's a great idea. All right, so that was inside of settings. This is awesome. I've never seen this before. So this is what it's like around the world for sunset or sunrise. We're here in North America, and you can see right here where the sun is up and down, and it's so neat. You can see little lights on there that represent that their lights are on because it's nighttime. that is so cool. And around here, the sunrise 6:38, sunset 18:21, military time. That is so neat. I love that. So trip monitor, you can record your trip monitor settings, and so it's automatically going to save your trip information there. You can hit record and it'll start to record your trip information when you start to go. And then help, and then this is pretty neat. It's a demonstration, so you can select a demo route and you can see, hey, let's go to New York. There you go. And so that's what it's going to look like if we were driving in that area right now on 278 Brooklyn Queens Expressway.
1.3 miles. Keep right onto I-278 eastbound.
And remember the screen that we just looked at right here where we could organize all of that information? You can see that there. You can see the speed limit on the right. That's pretty cool. And so we can speed it up.
Keep right onto I-278 eastbound.
I love that. You see how it gives you, this is the sign that you're going to be looking for next. So that just gives you a demonstration of what it's like. Select demo route. I just pressed info, and this takes you to XM, sports, weather, stocks, fuel, vehicle monitor, eco monitor, maintenance, and reorder. Reorder is pretty neat. I can press reorder and I can order these in whatever way I want them to be ordered. So let's say I wanted vehicle monitor to be first. I'm going to press that. Then I'm going to use these arrows to put that wherever I want it. So now it's first. I press OK. Now vehicle monitor is first. And this is pretty neat. You can see it shows percentage of the accelerator being pressed, engine oil temp, vehicle mode, elapsed time. It's been running 16 minutes. Average speed is 29 miles per hour. XM Sports. This allows me to select teams that I want to watch or I want to keep track of. So let's go basketball. And I love this. It used to, there was only NBA available, only NBA. Now there's WNBA, women's NCAA, and men's NCAA. Then what conference do I want to watch? And we're in the South, so I'm going to select Atlantic Coast, ACC. And then what teams am I going to want to check out? Check that out. And so right now the ACC tournament is going on. And so I can see my scores. How cool is that? So recent and then in progress. And then I hit national tune and look, it took me right to the game on XM radio. Weather. I'm going to be able to select current, 3 to 6 hour, or the forecast. And check this out. Here is our extended forecast. And then eco monitor. Lifetime average 23.8 miles per gallon. I have 150 mile range on the tank. Instant is going to be right there. That's going to update as you're driving. Maintenance. And this is where I can set maintenance reminders in the system for these specific maintenance requirements. And then home, and this is going to be your map, audio, phone, apps, info, and settings. We looked at map. Here's audio. On the left side of the screen, you see 1 through 5. And these are going to be items that you memorize into the system. You have these arrows to where you can scroll, and there's several pages. You can see it's going all the way up probably to 30, 35. Yep, actually you have 36 presets. Now, why in the world would you want 36 presets on this? Well, here's the reasoning. You can combine AM, FM, and XM all in one block from 1 through 5. So I'm going to scroll back up to 1 through 5 and I'll show you what I mean. So this is the first page. And you see here 94.5, that's an FM station. 125, that's XM. It's nice to be able to go to your FM radio station that you want to listen to. And then if you wanted to listen to a specific XM station, instead of having to change the source, you could just hit that and go right to it. And so you can just combine all of them into one set. Then there's XM radio, there's AHA, and AHA and Pandora are via the app that you would need to download from app stores. Make sure the AHA app is running on your device. Then there's Pandora. It's probably going to be the same thing. I do have Pandora on my phone, but I don't think it's running. It maybe it's going to, yeah, look at that. So it automatically, I was listening to classical music earlier today. So it's playing Pandora right from my Pandora. And these, check this out. These are the stations that are on my Pandora. Isn't that cool? You can tell my kids have been creating stations here because I only listen to Disney Channel Stars Radio. I'm just saying. I have this same feature in my car, and it will play from my Pandora, but it does not do it as efficiently as this. This is excellent. I love this. Great job, Subaru, for that. And then there's Bluetooth audio. So this is where if you have, and there it is again. Now it's streaming it from the phone using Pandora. Let me explain the difference. This is the same thing that it was playing before, but here it's playing it through Bluetooth audio. Here it's playing it through the Pandora app and the audio system itself. This actually sounds a little more clear. I don't know why. I don't know if there's some type of buffering or something that it goes through running through the Pandora, but coming through Bluetooth right here, it actually sounds more clear, and it's actually a better sound in my opinion. HD radio is fantastic. HD radio allows you to take advantage of the full bandwidth of any FM station, and I'll explain. FM 105.7, it's WVBZ HD1. It says that right there. There is more than one 105.7. And you see where it says HD, you see the icon there, and it says 1 and 2. I can press that, and that will go to the other 105.7. Right now on the end here, it says WVBZ HD2. So this is the other 105.7. We're still listening to 105.7 like we were when we were listening to HD1. It's just different music. So that's HD2. See down here, HD2. And then press it again, HD1, 105.7. Additional information. Pretty nifty. You can also, with HD radio, you can pause live radio. You can go back. I can hit live. And so that is a brief explanation of HD radio. You can see the icon here and here. And I can change stations, and then it will update. It takes just a second to update it, but then you'll see the icon, the HD icon light up right there. And this one, 94.5, actually has 3 HD stations. Down here are your climate controls, and this is very, very self-explanatory. I like how simple it is. The buttons are really easy to understand. It's not hieroglyphics. You don't need a college class to understand what they do. One of the things that I would love to see put in a more prominent place is the clock and the outside temperature gauge. I guess once you get used to it and know where to look for it, it's fine, but the clock is right there and the temperature gauge is there. And it actually took me a little while to find the clock, and it's just not intuitive, it being there. It kind of gets lost in these other icons. That's pretty much my only complaint about this car. Heated seat controls, 3 level. Press it once, it goes to the highest setting, next highest, lowest, and that's that. And then this is going to be the setting for your clock. Right here, these little buttons, positive and negative. Seat control, the heated seat control for passenger, and then climate setting for dual zone climate control. When you press auto, it makes it work like the central AC in your house. You see it says auto here, but then you press it and it says full auto, and watch the fan speed go up. And watch full auto go away when I press this fan speed. So it's automatically right now keeping the temperature set at low, and low is like 60 degrees. You see that? And I'm adjusting it here. And so I go all the way down to low, and right now what it's doing is the temperature coming out of the vents is at like 60 right now. But the fan speed is not such that it's going to cool the whole cabin to 60 until I hit auto. And then when I hit auto, it's going to blow the fan speed way up to take it down to 60. And so that's a pretty neat way of doing it, so that what you can do is go full auto and then adjust it to up like 71, 72, whatever's comfortable for you. And then it will maintain that cabin temperature at 70 degrees or whatever temperature you set, and you don't have to mess with it at all then. It will fully control the fan speed and the temperature from turning that dial. Off cuts the whole system off. AC cuts AC on and off. Another thing about the winter, always, if you come out to your car and the windows are foggy or frosted over, cut the AC on. AC removes moisture out of the air. And so if you have dry air inside the cabin, then it is going to make it so that your windows stay defrosted more efficiently. AC also ought to be running if it's really rainy outside and it's nasty. It has the tendency to fog up your windows because there's so much moisture inside the car because your body is in the car. If you cut AC on, it removes moisture, and therefore your windows are defrosted more efficiently no matter what the temperature is. Little tidbit, that is recirculate. So when I press recirculate, it recirculates the air in the cabin, and it basically gives you almost like an extra fan speed in the summertime. That's a good thing to do. Dual zone, I can press this, and now the passenger has control of their side. If I take that off, watch this go from 74 to 71. It's going to match here. And now I have control of both sides. Mode is the direction of the fan speed, or the fan direction. You see it's on face now. I can go through the mode and it's going to change all around. Manually fan control. This is front defrost, rear window defrost, and also heated side mirrors. You can see down here that there's a little box, and it has a port for plugging in your cell phone charger via a lighter adapter, but you also have an auxiliary and a double USB port. I love that. That's a nice place for additional storage as well. And then you have cup holders here, and you see my recycled glass, earth friendly with filtered water. That's just kind of going along with the Subaru theme of the day. And then here's your parking brake. The way you cut that on and off is you push down, and it's going to deactivate the brake. You pull it back up, it's going to activate the brake. X mode is going to be like driving around in the wintertime in first gear. It's going to basically set the cruise control at a much lower speed, and you just kind of steer. X mode uses lower gear ratios to generate extra power at the wheels that have grip. It deactivates the transmission's lockup clutch to direct power to wheels that are slipping. It makes the traction control system a lot more sensitive, so it intervenes earlier during wheel slippage. It also allows hill descent control, so you don't need to apply the brakes and risk locking them up when you're headed down big steep slopes. Bluetooth controls are here on the bottom of the left side, and when you press this, it's going to take you to your phone menu. When your phone is hooked up, it's going to take you to this screen, and you have speed dial, call history, contacts, dial pad, and settings. This is going to be text messages and emails. And while I've been in the vehicle riding around for the past few days, I'll get a text message or an email, and it will give me the option of reading that out loud to me. That's a really cool feature. But I could dial here if I wanted to, or I can call from using my voice. And you can actually go in here and you can press this, and you can call contacts from your contacts in your phone. So let's say you have John Smith as a contact. You can hit that. She'll say, "How may I help you?" You could say, "Call John Smith." And if John Smith is a contact in your list, it will call John Smith. Really nice feature. But you could enter the phone number there if you wanted to. Then I can go settings here. Connect phone, sound settings, history, messaging, and phone display settings. Let's go messaging settings. And this is pretty neat. This is going to be automatic message in other words, when it says automatic, that means do you want it to automatically do this, transfer your messages, read your messages out loud when the phone is hooked up, when the car recognizes the phone via Bluetooth. Notification pop up. So if you got a text message or an email, it's actually going to pop up on the screen. You'll see a little thing pop up here. If that is off like that, you see how it's not checked there now? If that is off, then you'll just hear an audible tone. I like to have that pop up there, so I know the difference if it's going to be a text message or an email. You can add a signature to outgoing messages that people will know that you're actually in a car right now, so they're going to be less likely to interact with you, because for your safety, they know it's best not to distract you while you're driving. And then update message read status on the phone. And so incoming display for text and for email, full screen. Then you can change that to a drop down or full screen. Drop down is actually what I would choose, because it's going to do a little, and it's going to show you, and it's going to pop back up. Full screen, it's going to stay on the screen and not go away. Drop down is actually a lot more convenient, because it goes away when it's finished showing you the message or the indication that you have an incoming text message, and then it goes away and back to the screen that you were in. We'll leave that at full screen though. Sound settings, And so this is how the vehicle is going to interact from a notification standpoint with your phone. Message readout volume.
Hello. 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 Hello.
Wow.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
We get it.
Hello.
You gonna stop?
Hello.
Guess not.
Hello.
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 So that's, my goodness, that's annoying. So ringtone volume, ringtone from phone.
Incoming call from John Smith.
Or ringtone just from the phone. Whatever you have set in the phone, it can play it over the speakers in the car. So that's what it's going to sound like whenever I have an outgoing call. Pretty nifty stuff, isn't it? And so you need to go through here, just play with all these settings to determine what is going to work best for you. The main thing I always tell people as far as this type of thing when it comes to a vehicle, what is going to keep you the most safe? And if it's going to make it easy for you to interact with your phone and with other people, like via Bluetooth, if it's going to make it easy and not complicated, then use that feature in that way. But if it seems complicated to you, then think ahead. Is this going to, let's say worst case scenario, I'm driving and it's 65 miles an hour. I'm driving in the rain. I don't know where I am. I'm trying to focus on me driving, and then all of a sudden somebody calls, and that can be just a mess. So whenever you're going through these types of settings, things that have the potential to distract you while you're driving, think of that situation, a situation where it's, kind of a shaky type of driving situation, and take that into consideration when you're making these settings. And if they make life easier and safer, by all means do it. If they have the potential to be distracting, don't do it. Safety first. I wanted to show you how it sounds when the car reads a text message out loud to you. So I'm going to go here. It's going to take me to the phone screen, and I'm going to go to messages here, and you can see all the text messages that I have. And you can see here, Honey is my wife. And so we were texting yesterday, and this is a text message that she sent me.
Can you take Meg to an orthodontist appointment on Monday at 8:40 so I can sub?
And so she sent me that text message asking if we could I could take our daughter to the orthodontist. And so now if I were driving, it would not display the message, the text of the message, but it would read it out loud to me if I wanted it to. At that point, I can call, can play it again, I can go to the previous or the next message, or I can hit quick message. See that? And quick message is a set of pre-populated messages that I could hit and just do a quick reply with. Okay? 1 through 5, 6 through 10, 11 through 15. And you can see on the right side that these are, you can edit them. So you can actually customize those messages. Can't talk right now, I'm driving. So I'm going to send my wife a text message right now in response to that message that she sent me yesterday. Even though we've talked before and all that stuff, she's going to wonder why I'm texting her right now. And Honey is the recipient. Can't talk right now, I'm driving, so watch this. Send. Now we'll see if she texts me back and is like, what are you talking about? Okay, everybody, that wraps up our look at the 2017 Subaru Outback Touring. I love this vehicle. It is so comfortable. It's very roomy, very efficient, very user-friendly. Thank you so much for watching. I truly do appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big fat thumbs up, and also share it with somebody that you think may enjoy it as much as you did. I can get these words out, I promise. Also, check out my website. It's www.howtocarguy.com. I'll have this video and many, many others up on my website. Check out that website. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Have a great day, and remember, enjoy the ride.